everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. I am going to be discussing the book Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton. I am so excited to share with you 5 of my favorite techniques in this book. If you are the type of person who is constantly ruminating, constantly overthinking, I think this book is going to be such a blessing in your life. And I say that because actually as of this year, I learned that we are not all overthinkers. I knew we all had a certain degree of overthinking, but I just never really identified myself as being an overthinker until I had met a few different kind of people who really don't worry as much about things as I do. And so this book really came in to change a perspective in my life of how this affects everything really that we do in our day-to-day basis. So I'm really excited to share that with you today. One of the first things that I learned in this book is actually that anxiety is the root cause and overthinking is going to be the effect of that anxiety. And so anxiety can be caused by a wide array of reasons, including your upbringing, your environment, and your current lifestyle. And although there's not a test for a specific anxiety gene that we can look for in ourselves to let us know if we are more prone towards having anxiety in our lives, if you did have a parent who had an anxiety disorder, this gives you a greater chance of also having it as well. The reason why I think this book is so important to be shared is because overthinking can have so many negative effects in our physical and mental health, including fatigue, memory loss, headaches, and nightmares, as well as hormonal dysregulation, just to mention a few. You also have the social effects of the overthinking, which can cause for you to damage your close relationships. Your work can suffer from it as well, and it can also cause you to be withdrawn from your friends and from just regular social interactions. But what I'm here to say today is that it is manageable and it can't be fixed if you get to work today, and one of the main tools to use is going to be this book. I do want to share 5 of my favorite techniques out of the 23 that are in this book. Number 1 is going to be to bring awareness into the overthinking patterns. So when you find yourself overthinking, really this technique just asks for us to remind ourselves that we are aware of what is happening and focus more on the emotions and the sensations that our body is feeling at that moment, instead of focusing on the negative dialogue that is going inside our heads. So I'm actually going to read an entry from page 35 of the book in which the author actually focuses on seeing an issue from 2 different perspectives. So the first perspective is coming from the person who is really stressed out, they're starting to overthink. And the second perspective is from the person that's really using that awareness to shift the focus of the overthinking. So here's the first prompt. This is coming from anxiety. There's so much going on right now and I can't cope. I'm about ready to scream. Nobody respects me. I can't do this anymore. What did his message mean? Why is this happening? So this could be happening at work, or maybe a friend said something and we're taking it negatively, whatever it may be. Now here is the shift with awareness. There's a lot going on right now. My heart is racing and I'm beginning to panic. I can feel my thoughts racing. This helps us avoid putting negative stories to the way we're narrating something. That way we can just focus on our feelings and our emotions at that moment and try to fix it and bring ourselves out of the overthinking. I think out of the 5 strategies that I'm going to share today, this one is going to be the hardest to manage, just because sometimes when we are in that state, it's very hard to kind of think of ourselves, let me bring awareness into this situation. So again, it's something that we really have to work on, and we really have to be conscious the moment that is happening. Now for number 2, this one is called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. I actually really like this one, and I think this is my second favorite technique out of the 5 that I'm going to be sharing today. So this technique just really helps us because of the distraction of it. So you are overthinking. What you're going to do next is you're going to focus your attention on 5 things around your environment that you can see. And make sure to really take a look at the item that you are observing. What is the texture? What is the color? Really take your time with this exercise. Next, you're gonna find 4 things in your environment that you can touch. After that, you're gonna find 3 things that you can hear. And again, these don't have to be super difficult. Don't overcomplicate it for yourself. Up next is going to be finding 2 things close by that you can smell. This is actually easier than it seems. Maybe it can be the perfume that you put on this morning, your shampoo, whatever it may be. And last but not least, you're gonna find 1 thing in your environment that you can taste. So that might be the coffee that you brought to work, or maybe some water or some juice. Maybe you have a chocolate laying around. And as stated before, the reason for doing this exercise is to distract ourselves. Number 3 is going to be to manage your day effectively. And the author talks about building your day into time blocks. You can also just make sure you have a plan for the day by using a journal. The focus of this exercise is to make sure that you are running your day and that the overthinking is not doing the running of your day. Why? Because when we tend to overthink sometimes, and I have seen this before, where someone can focus on overthinking when it comes to a simple decision, such as what they're going to have for lunch or what they're going to wear today. So by making sure that we schedule that time, whether it'll be 5 minutes to decide what I'm going to wear today or what I'm going to have for lunch, you're really making sure that you're scheduling yourself times to do that overthinking. But you also have a plan laid out for the day, so you know what comes next, and that way your brain doesn't really have time to do a lot of that overthinking because it knows it already has a task that is coming up. Number 4 is going to be autogenetic training, and this kind of technique started with Johannes Schultz in the 1920s. Really, what it is a relaxation technique to calm our bodies down. There are autogenetic training centers all over the world in which you can go to learn more about this technique and even get certified to teach it yourself. And what I'm actually going to do is walk you through a quick session, because you don't have to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to go to an autogenetic training center to learn more about this, because it's all in the book. Alrighty, so you are going to start by finding a comfortable position, whether it'll be sitting or lying down. Take a few minutes in which you're going to be working on taking slow, deep breaths, and begin by slowly repeating to yourself 6 times the following: I am completely calm. Right now, we are really focusing on bringing awareness to the sensations in our body, so we're going to move on to repeating 6 times, my left arm is warm, followed by 6 repetitions of I am completely calm. Focus on the sensations that your body is experiencing at this moment. Pay attention to how your arm is feeling right now. Now you can begin to follow up with your other arm, both legs, chest, and abdomen, alternating with I am completely calm. Now we're going to work on reversing the process by saying arms firm up, I am alert, and so on, and finally eyes open as you end the session. Alrighty, so this is a practice that you can do from home, you can do at work, and also remember to cut yourself some slack. It does not have to be perfect the first few times that you try it. It's just about how consistent we are with repeating the process. The intent of this practice is to simply bring awareness and shift the focus from the overthinking to how our body is feeling by telling it how it's feeling. So as you continue to focus on this technique and as you continue to do it, you are going to be able to see the changes in that overthinking and the patterns of overthinking as well. My hope for you is that hopefully it decreases the amount of overthinking, because I know that this technique has definitely helped me with the amount of overthinking that I was actually engaging in before. Alrighty guys, so the last one is my favorite. This is number 1 in my list, so that's why I left it till the end. This technique is called worry postponement. It is one of the techniques that I really didn't like when I first read about it. I was like, this is crazy. This is not something that is going to work. And honestly, it has been the one that has worked the most for me. So worry postponement just means that when you find yourself overthinking, you're going to tell yourself, this is not the time for this. We're going to go ahead and park that idea, and we are going to overthink about it when we get out of work on our drive home. And as a matter of fact, it is very silly the first few times you try it. After a week of really trying this and doing it a few times throughout the day, when I found myself overthinking, I really found that it was working, because then I could go back at the time that I told myself that I would and overthink at that time. And what is so cool about this is you're gonna ask yourself to park the overthinking and maybe put it towards the end of the day, right, on your drive home. And you're gonna say, and we're actually only gonna worry about this for 10 minutes, right? And so you're putting a time where you're gonna retake this overthinking and find a solution within 10 minutes. That way it's not just endless amount of overthinking for hours on end. It's just 10 minutes where you're gonna try to find a solution. And if it's not important, it's not important and we're not going to think about it. This technique has become so important for me because it's also a way of showing yourself like self-commitment, because you are telling your brain, hey, we're going to go back and we're going to think about this later. And then when you do it, you're really showing yourself that respect that you deserve of, hey, you are worth it. We are going to think about this, but we're only going to give you a 10-minute window to find a solution, so you're not breaking your head all day thinking about something that's actually not that important. I really do want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that it at least helps one person out there who can really use these techniques and make a difference for themselves. That is all that I have for today on this subject and on this book. I hope you are all taking care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you back here very soon.